Okay, good day everyone. I am John and I'm here to present my speedrun of Atelier Remake, all bosses in normal difficulty in about 50 minutes. My run actually here is a sub 51. So that is why it's about 50 minutes. And I'm here to present it in front of the GDQ staff to convince that this is a good run for the JRPG block in the upcoming GDQ 2024. So let's get on to the video. So yeah. So we choose unlimited mode first because again this is much more convenient option where we skip Ingrid's assignments and yeah, Ingrid's assignments, and we do not need to think about the 5-year time limit. So yeah, Atelier Marie. So this is the very first Atelier game in the longest running Atelier RPG series. Atelier RPG series has its left field approach in emphasizing the item crafting, item synthesis via alchemy. So for now we're doing the tutorial part. So Marie goes to the tavern and asks for a quest. And she does go to the nearby forest to gather some things, namely the nooses. And we're going through the tutorial, so I would like to introduce first what is the Atelier series. So this introduces the item crafting as its center for the RPG content. And if you have played other RPG games such as Pokemon, Tales, Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, most of the items that you obtain in this game are either created by somebody else or something that you bought in the market. Unlike here in this game, as we are about to see, so Marie will make an item here, a craft. We'll make an item here, a craft. Via the nooses that she gathered. So yeah, just watch and see. So Marie will just scoop over the ingredients and she made a craft. So that is the main premise of Atelier series. The item creation. There's still combat, yes, but most of the time, actually in this particular, in the runs that I am about to show, most of the time we will see setups involving synthesizing items, which is actually the main premise of this game. So at this point, we recruit 2 party members, which will form the composition of the whole party actually, for the whole run. So we need 2 spear masters, Kugel and Halesh, because they have high attack stat actually. They have high attack stat. So we go back to this nearby forest because we need to gather many nooses as much as possible. And we need to synthesize as many crafts as possible in order to sell crafts as many as possible. Because crafts provide convenient money actually, convenient cash. Especially Marie needs it when she will purchase tons of materials later, tons of items, tons of equipments. Yeah, tons of equipments. So we need to activate areas in this game via hearing rumors. So we need to go to the media forest to gather things. And our main objective here is to gather Of course, many items, especially the fairy wings. Fairy wings are rare items, and as we know in JRPGs, the rarer the items, the higher the value, the higher the reward. And as usual, we get our encounters with the bandits. We get our encounters with the bandits. Usual. So in this forest, there are good enemies that we want to fight here. Actually, any enemies are good, but we want encounters of 2 because they give, as usual, tons of experience. So we got a fairy wing, and that is good. So we gather also Venus shrooms because among common items, they provide good value. We also gather nooses here because again, we need more crafts. We fight another batch of snakes. We got fairy wings, we got Venovines, although we don't need Venovines, but yeah. More Venus shrooms. By the way, I have not mentioned, we're doing all bosses in normal difficulty. So there are 5 bosses in this game. There are a total of 5 bosses in this game, but the run is about an hour long because we need to set up on these. It will be very difficult to fight them barehanded or just via their weapons. They don't deal so much damage, especially that they're relatively low leveled compared to the bosses that we're about to face later on. So we need to set up on them. And that is why bulk of this run is actually synthesizing things, because we want more firepower. That is an essential thing. So we got back safely and we go back to the tavern. We do synthesize a craft because again, crafts provide money. So our target here is to make the tavern spawn the quest for fairy wings because as we will see later, they provide good value. We particularly talk to this fellow, to this soldier, because that will unlock the rumor for another gathering area, the Mayor Cave, I think, the Mayor Cave, because that is where the bandit mob, the bandit leader, which is one of the boss fights. So we need to get that rumor actually. So we're finally in winter. We synthesize another craft. Again, we want for the tavern to spawn fairy wings, and there we go. We're good. Look at that value. Look at that value. So that's about more than 1,000 coins and 24 reputation points. That's a lot, actually. That is a lot. So as you have seen also, after Marie turns over items at the tavern, she levels up. So Marie will sleep again. We need to spawn the craft this time in the academy, because we want to sell crafts as many as possible there. So that is why Marie has so much money. It's more than 10,000 coins. 10,000 cash. And we can jump to March 8th. We can jump to March 8th. So, March 8th is the book sale, which means the items in the academy all have 50% discount. Marked as 50% discount. That is why we take advantage of this book sale, and we got another gold split. So far we have 2 gold splits because, again, it depends on how lucky we are with the tavern quests. It depends on how lucky we are also with the encounters. So this is a good split actually. So the next split is a reputation staff split. So we need to obtain the reputation staff, the staff of legend, which will grant us 200 more reputation. Because our main objective here is to get 400 reputation for 2 reasons: to get the rumor for the Earthward Tower and to get the time slate recipe, because the time slate recipe will essentially stop the boss fights. Actually, we want to stop the main bosses, because they deal so much damage. They deal a decent damage actually, to the point that if I don't, especially that they attack twice, they could inflict status. We don't want that. It may be a run killer actually. So we go to the Strudel Waterfalls. We gather so many Mysticas for the mystical leaves. We will not restore much MP here, but because Marie will use a lot of magic attacks, a lot of consumables, she will need it. And also, using items here for other party members also consumes MP. So for example, if I use my usual heals, it will consume a little bit of MP. So that is why we need the mystical leaves here. So we are now in Mount Wildland. We need to gather glass and ores, because again, glass and ores are rare stones here, rare metals. We want to gather as many as possible. The safest number is actually 25, 26, 27. Maybe 24. Yeah, 24. Considering that we got so much money from the tavern quest from earlier and the selling of crafts. Yeah, selling of crafts. So while Marie is gathering her glass and ores, if this were a GDQ event, probably the host could mention a couple of shoutouts, or rather couple of donations, sorry, couple of donations. Okay, so back to the main story of the game. So we're gathering as many stones as much as possible, but we want tons of Canonerax here, because later on in the setup part, again as I mentioned, the setup part will form a lot in this run. So the items that we need, the super bombs, the mega bombs, they demand tons of fire signs, and fire signs demand Canonerax. So that means we need to gather tons of Canonerax. So we will have a run back, well, not in this exact mountain, but in the lower mountains, so that we could gather tons of Canonerax, because they are really crucial in making bombs. the Mega Bombs and the Super Bombs. And also red neutralizers on the way. So yeah, we got the number that we need. I think that was 25. So once again, we synthesize sleep, synthesize sleep. Most of the time we will do this because, as you have seen earlier, synthesizing costs MP, synthesizing costs some fatigue, as you have seen here, MP cost and fatigue. And fatigue could greatly affect the synthesis rate of items, especially the higher leveled items. So that is why we, most of the time, after synthesizing a bulk of items, a bulk number of items, we rest. We rest for a good number of days. Yeah, we rest for a good number of days. And then we go to the tavern, hoping for a better item quest. Better item item turnover. Yeah, better item turnover. So we have glass and ores. That's good because it rewards you with good reputation. 36. Let's go. And then we synthesize polishing powders. We need them for the time slate. Time slate is an OP item that will stop everything. Actually, it stops all enemies. So that means they cannot attack for a certain number of turns, which leave them vulnerable to so many consumables, so many attacks. Excuse me. So we got Ingrid. So the Ingrid cutscene unlocks when Marie is at least level 8 and has 150 reputation. So she has now access to the library materials. So the most necessary items here, the most necessary recipes here are the Mega Bombs and the Super Bombs. We need them because they're the most powerful magic items. And we go also to the Sky Tavern because there would be now a rumor for the glass and ore that the weapon shop buys glass and ores from Marie. So there. And Marie can purchase now the Staff of Legend. She has now 300 plus reputation. She goes back to the academy to learn more recipes because we need to progress through the recipes to get the time slate. She talks again to the weapon shop owner because we want to trigger the hair serum quest, which will reward her the cosmic staff. We need the cosmic staff here because that will increase greatly Marie's magic attack. And that will influence directly the damage of the super bombs, the mega bombs. And that is why those items are said to be OP, especially if Marie is the one using them. So let's go. So we're about to synthesize things again. And we do safety saves here because some of the items here have, even though they have quite high synthesis rate, such as this hair serum, it's likely to fail. Look at this, 74% success rate. This is not good because if you're doing yellow struts here and it failed, there's a good chance you might have to gather those items again, which is why we do not want to YOLO here, and we perform safety saves. And another problem here is that if there is a cutscene right after the synthesis, this is also bad because you will lose about 30 seconds here from the time you fail the synthesis to reloading the whole thing. So it's a 30-second loss. It's really bad actually. It's really bad. Especially if you're trying to get a good run here. A good time actually, if you're trying to get a good time. So we're going back to the Elfin Cave that is in the lower mountains because we want to gather Comet Gemstones. We want to gather tons of Canonerax, even fests for the polishing powders. But the most important thing here is the Canonerax. We need tons of Canonerax for super bombs and mega bombs. Okay, let's go. As usual, we have Kugel cutscenes because we leveled up Kugel. But that is fine. It's always mandatory. So we turn over Fire Sands. And then we finished the quest for the Weapon Master. So we got 30 reputation. So we still another set of quests to get to 400 reputation. And here we go. We got 400 reputation. We can go to the academy and meet the principal so that we can get the time slate recipe. The time slate recipe. Here's our principal. So talking to the Weapon Master again, we need to talk to it again because it will trigger the cutscene that it failed. Yeah, it's quite a funny side quest here actually. We need to talk to him again so that he can open his weapon shop eventually and buy our party members the highest gear, the best gear that they can possess. So we synthesize more Fire Sands. Again, super bombs and mega bombs demand tons of Fire Sands. That is why we eventually synthesize them. We can sell now the reputation stuff, the stuff of legend, because we got what we want, the recipe for time slate. So we save a good time in gang up, about 1 minute. That is good. More Fire Sands. By the way, the next segments, so because we now have a complete party, we have now the best equipments, it's now time to take on the boss fights. So the first boss fight will be the waterfall boss, Werebell. So we need, so this will be 1 out of 5 boss fights so far. So we purchased I think 60 plus beehives because again we will make tons of bombs. And puny balls for the mystical leaves. So we need a good number of them. So we now approach the waterfall boss, Weirville. And because we're doing this in normal difficulty, our strats are consistent. There is no way we lose this fight actually. This is much guaranteed because we have powerful equipments. Pretty much consistent. Yeah, here we go. We just stab the boss all the way and then just zap it with bystander bolt. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Straightforward fight. Nothing too fancy. Marie has very good magic defense. That is why she tanks it like a I don't know. Tanks it like a tank. Okay, one crucial thing here. We discard this particular item, the golden salmon, because if we get out of this gathering area without discarding golden salmon, I will trigger a minigame, and that takes a good number of seconds than discarding it. That is why we discard the golden salmon. So we have now the wax, we synthesize things. Here we go. More wax, more wax. More wax. And then we rest because Marie has low MP and has quite a number of fatigue. So it's the third year. So we have another run back to the Elfin Cave because again, tons of Canonerax. We need tons of Canonerax. Is to synthesize things. We will gather as many Canonerax as possible. By the way, of course, you're seeing in the splits that we're about to lose time. We did not fight the bandit mobs. But again, this is just for all setup. Tons of setup, including gathering, synthesis. That takes a lot of time actually. That takes a lot of time. Actually, after the waterfall boss, it's a non-linear thing now. Actually, before you start the waterfall boss, it's actually non-linear at this point. Okay, we got back to the Atelier safely. And we're about to fight the bandit mobs. So by the way, so since while we're synthesizing here, probably if we are in the GDK event, I could ask for a couple of announcements and donation messages. Please take it away. Oh, we had
gather
another
more
run back
comet
to the Elfin
gemstones
Cave.
and Canonera.
Okay. Well, it's because we need tons of Canonerax. If you want to create... Because here's the thing. So far, we want at least 12 Mega Bombs. 12 Mega Bombs or 13. I think that would be safe, but... Yeah. We need at least 12 Mega Bombs. Because... the 3 boss fights demand a good amount of firepower coming from the Mega Bomb. It's not the bandit mob. They're relatively weak actually. But it's the dragon and the 2 foreign copies actually. The dragon and the 2 foreign copies. Which we need to prepare the most. Because they're relatively tough.
Super bombs.
They can easily wipe your whole team actually if... especially that they are high level. So look at this. Super Bomb has 78%. And I only synthesized like 7 of them. And it was successful. So that was good. We have Super Bombs. And then we synthesize more bombs to get the Mega Bomb. So yeah. So Marie got to level 13. So again, she levels up via synthesis. And we perform a safety save here because Mega Bombs have low synthesis rate. Look at this, it's 66% and it's not good. But we managed to pass through it. But that is fine. It's better to save than to say sorry than or resetting a run just because of a failed synthesis. I felt slow in that menuing. Let's repeat that again. Just average. So yeah, we now go to the Mire Cave and fight the mob boss fight. So that is the boss fight. The boss fight is the mob of 5 bandits plus the leader. The bandit chief is the boss fight actually. So yeah, they're relatively weak actually, especially the bandits. So it's not the hard boss fight here, even with Weirbill. It's not the hardest boss fight. The hardest boss fights are the next 3 ones, or the last 3 ones. So yeah. So this will occupy the rest of about 15 minutes. Setting up for the boss fights. So again, tons of fire sands. So again, we perform another safety save because we're about to synthesize another batch of Mega Bombs. If you're going to take a good look at it, it's 80%, but I still failed. 80% is high already, right? But I still failed. The game said no. The game said no for Mega Bombs. So we need to load. So look at this. We're finally in year 5. Doing all of this synthesis is might be highly impossible in normal mode. The normal mode demands you to finish the game within 5 years. Just by looking at this, we are trying to do things as fast as possible. And that is by using Mega Bombs. Which take a lot of days actually to make it. So that is one of the reasons why I chose to go to unlimited mode so that we could take advantage of possible year 6 and beyond. Another safety save because of the comet that we're about to synthesize. That's 70%. And look at that. Failure again. So far we had tons of failed synthesis here. I think it was 3 so far. 3. The first one, the hair serum, the mega bomb, and this. This is why we need safety saves here. I would like to comment further that this run, I'm highly thinking of this as a marathon run than of a competitive run because I performed a good number of safety saves here. Yeah, a good number of safety saves. So we save again because we're about to synthesize the time slates right now. We're about to synthesize time slates. Right there, time slates. So that's 78%. And it's successful, but we have to play the minigame. So we just need to collect the good ones.
Oh, that's the bad one. I did not notice. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so that's quite an average mini game because I finished it within 30 seconds. The most ideal case here is if I finish it within 15 seconds actually. 15 seconds. But that is still good. It's just that I had a bad enemy pattern, I think. So this time we equip the party members. So which party members gets to have the heal, the time slates, but most, of course, all of them should have the time slates. I equipped some of them with mystical leaves and even spinaches, but that is fine. It's unnecessary, but that's fine. That is fine. So we now go to the Erford Tower. This is the ultimate dungeon actually. So this dungeon features 5 consecutive battles. 4 of them are mobs of 6, and the 5th one is the boss fight. So we have Punies here, the usual. We do the usual physical attacks. Unfortunately, Kugel was paralyzed, so we need Marie to damage good with Thunderbolt, and here we go. They deal pitiful damage, but that is fine. The worst case scenario here is elves damage Kugel that much. That is almost half of Kugel's health. So we need to damage the elves as fast as possible. Because Kugel has paper magic defense, but we were able to defeat it. Nothing, not the worst case so far. So we restore things. This is one of the first instances we use the super bomb, as we will see right now. So look at this, 1817, that's a decent damage, that's a decent chunk, but it all goes down to one super bomb. Because Mantai have paper magic defense.
That super bomb is so OP.
So this time, we now fight the gargoyles. Bang! Super bomb, damaging as ever. So yeah, and then we restore health before we go to the final boss. And then restore MP via mystical leaves. There. Let's go. Let's go to the next boss fight, Farron. So Farron is level 45 here, but it has low stats because we're playing in normal difficulty. So we will use Time Slate here just to prevent the boss from attacking. Because of course, the worst case scenario for this boss fight is, it's not actually the boss attacking, but the special effects, the status actually. The status effects that it can inflict. So we don't want the boss to induce sleep, poison even poison, because that's really bad. It will take time also. So yeah, we were able to defeat the boss. So that's the third boss fight. And we have a big time save here.
That big time save there.
About 6:30. Well, because the reason is I did a cleaner run back. I had a better run back. So I had no problems with that. So we will go now to the next boss fight, which is Flamfail, which is the dragon. We go right away to the boss fight. There's no problem with this because we have time slates on our hands. We just poke the dragons with the spear and toss some mega bombs. That's a good damage, 100 plus. Look at that, 120. That's a decent damage. We're trying to save mega bombs for the final boss. That is why I hesitated to use the final mega to finish the boss with the final mega bomb. So another big time save here. We saved 10 seconds actually. So we need to go back to the tavern and it's not quite. So yeah, we sleep all the way to September 30 so that we do not get any encounters leading to the tower. And we can trigger the second tower, or as Angela, my commentator from Hotfix, called it Awakening, I would call it the Recolored Tower. Yeah, the Recolored Tower. By the way, I'm thinking of this as a marathon. That is why I saved before this fight. Should there be any worst case scenarios, but that is fine. That is fine, that is fine. If I did not fail any synthesis, if I did not have any 3 fail or probably 1 fail only, this would have been sub 50. I did not perform too much saves maybe. Or even I used Super Bomb in one of the fights here. It would have been sub 50, but that is fine. Not too much of a problem. Yeah, these are tough Punis. The silver Punis, because they have, certainly they're level way higher. And look at the party's level. They're relatively in the 20s, while the enemies are at level 40s and above. So this is the reason why we need party setup. We need good materials as well. We need good weapons. So we still have 4 fights left. Yeah, 4 fights. Okay, the next set of enemies, the Mantai and the dog. Well, we don't... let's see, what did I do here? Yeah, I still use time slate. Well, because the dogs and the Mantai are fast. But they just died to a single Mega Bomb. Well, the reason why I use a time slate here, because we don't want the Mantai to attack. Because they deal decent damage. Actually, they deal huge damage because they're quite high level. So once again, we do time slate. We don't want any of them to attack. It saves quite a lot of time, especially that they're high leveled. So we go with bash of super bombs. More super bombs. And we're done. So, look at this final boss fight. It's a recolored Farron, just with the red robe. So once again, I did not have enough MP for Kugel, but I had to damage it by my allies, and Marie gets to stop it. And usual Mega Bomb strats. Usual Mega Bomb strats. And yeah, boss defeated. So that's our final boss. 5 out of 5 boss fights. So for transparency, we took a good look at the agenda. So combat, a fierce battle, that means these are 5 boss fights. We were able to defeat them all. Let's go back. So there are 5 bosses here. All of them completed. So the Bandit Chief, Flampfail, Weirbel, Farron, Hellstray, or the recolored Farron. We were able to defeat them all. 5 out of 5 boss fights. And time.
51 minutes.
So this is a sub 51 run. This run is still improvable.
If I
Especially,
did not fail
I
this would
played
have
too
been
safe
sub
with the
50.
super bombs. I
If I
still
did
had
not
2
fail
super bombs
any
left.
of the same
For
things,
mega bombs, I
this
think
would have been
12
sub
is
50.
really enough. 13
But yeah,
is not
this time I can
the
justify 1
best
hour
number, I
extra for
think.
all bosses.
But yeah,
Normal difficulty.
we got it. We got it. We got it. So yeah, this justifies my 1 hour estimate, I think, or 105 estimate. And this concludes all bosses in normal difficulty for this category. And I hope you enjoyed my commentary. I am John, and I'll see you if I qualified, I guess, for the GDQ. So I'll see you next time.